Got junk? We do now. Welcome to Project Time Garage. This spicy little unit behind me right here, this is a 1994 Toyota 4Runner four-wheel drive. I don't really know why I bought this. I didn't really want this. I didn't really need this, but the price was pretty cheap. And as you can clearly see on the windshield, it runs okay. It doesn't run good, it doesn't run great. It runs. It barely runs, it sort of runs. In fact, can you call it a Toyota 4Runner if it doesn't run well? Maybe a Toyota 4 Walker or Stumbler, 4 Stumbler, that's what we're gonna call it. This little guy was bought locally. Literally saw it on the side of the road, stopped and was like, geez, $1,000 for a vehicle that runs okay and the 4x4 works great? How could you go wrong? Did a little bit of haggling, ended up getting this thing for $700. I know, right? $700 for all this. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with it, but I do know that it has some issues. It has some serious issues under this panel. So let's take a walk around and let me show you all of the wonderful that this thing has to offer. Well, where do we start here? I'm not even sure where to start. Body panels, they're pretty well beat up. Condensation inside some of the light, most of the lights. Got a set of Toyo Open Country tires on it that are dry rotted and cracked to pieces. All the glass is there. Looks to be pretty well intact. It's still wearing its factory original wheels, which is a big thing. So many times you buy stuff and if it's been, you know, really ragged on through the years, it's missing things like wheels or missing a lot of the factory accessories that they came with. So I almost wonder if this car here is not maybe first generation bad. Maybe the original owner owned this thing for a long time or something, because, you know, I have both keys for it. And most of the time when you're finding these vehicles out there that are, you know, kind of junky, most of them are missing all that stuff. Floor mats, keys, key fobs, wheels have been changed, you know the story. But this one's pretty well intact. Cell phone antenna mount, present accounted for. Got junk? We do now. There's a certain irony to seeing both those stickers right together like that. Apple sticker, hillbilly sticker. That is the definition of irony. Obviously it's dirty and mossy and pretty gross. Been sitting outside a long time. But here's another thing that always kind of makes me stand up and take notice. When you see the original stickers in the windows like this, it tells me that the truck has never had the windows tinted, otherwise they would have scraped that stuff off. That's the first thing they do. And the previous owner, being not a window tint type person, I don't know, maybe they were a little bit more particular about things. So maybe this thing had a decent life. I don't know. We'll see. Front end's actually okay on it. Got a little dent there in the front bumper, busted turn signal. Otherwise, not so bad. So the outside is, you know, outside's not great. The paint is just completely and totally gone. Clear coat's been gone for a long time. I don't know if we'll try to fix any of that or if we'll just clean it and send it. I don't know what we're going to do exactly just yet, but at least it's all there. All the pieces are intact, and you know, at least we don't have to try to find a bunch of stuff from junkyards, which is kind of hard on some of these. At least in this area it is. Let's go check out the inside. I got a couple of interesting points in there. Got the door panels in pretty good shape. I mean, no tears, no rips, nothing like that. Ooh, is that a part? Free parts. That's good. It has some floor mats in it. Not the factory original floor mats, but it has floor mats. And the carpets are not that bad. Not that bad at all. Seats, on the other hand, I don't know. Hey, I know some of you guys watching this are going to be hardcore Toyota 4Runner buffs. Answer a question for me on these seats. Look at this. This appears to be factory leather seats and not some slip-on covers. But when you get down here, look what's going on. The factory cover is torn away, but it has just a regular cloth covered seat underneath it. And I thought maybe, you know, somebody did this, but if you look at the other side, it's exactly the same way. And if this is just some slip-on covers, man, they went a long way to make them appear, you know, factory. I don't know. 310,455 miles, and it felt every doggone one of those, I'm sure. She's a sunroof model. Missing the sunroof trim. 50% of the reading lamps work there. As dirty as you might expect. And check out this cavernous center console. Haha, fooled you. Like we said earlier, this is the 4x4 model. Got the transparent anti-theft radio going on there. Ooh, a penny. Look at there, a penny. I believe they call that a top pocket find. Let's look in the back. We have the felony forest going on. 1, 2, 3. This is somewhere between New Car Scent and Bayside Breeze. New Car Scent, Bayside Breeze, and another New Car Scent right up there. So that's 2 New Car Scents to 1 Bayside Breeze. And no, it does not smell like a new car. As a matter of fact, you can probably just guess what it smells like just from the pictures. It's thick. The old headliner's not in too bad a shape. You know, yeah, it's got some mysterious stains going on and some weird stuff happening there, and you wonder what got put up there to put those stains. No, you do not wonder that. It's best to not wonder that. We have the rear window rolly downy model. That's a pretty cool thing. Oh, another New Car Scent. That's 3 New Car Scents to 1 Bayside Breeze. I'm thinking they were kind of going for a new car at the beach kind of thing. It didn't work. It's got this pretty cool mat back here in the back of it, and it's not just terrible underneath it. Oh, ooh, new parts. Look, more parts. Don't know what that is. Probably don't need it. It's got a rear light back here. Ooh, it works too. Hey, look at that. It's crunchy, but it works. Looks like we got some provisions for speakers back here. Just like the Pathfinder that I'll put a link to right up here, we just did, or that we're in the middle of doing, that we'll never finish doing, probably ever. Oh, more parts. That'd be a distributor cap. So that's going to be a sill plate. Sill plate. Oh, Zip tie. Now we're finding good stuff. Looks like that used to be a biscuit in there. That's good. Had a rear heating option there. That's pretty cool. Got these really high-end headrest covers there. No telling what's under that. Oh, that looks like that's gray or just dirty. All right, let's have a look under the hood here. This is where all the horsepower resides, and all 4 cylinders. But wait, it's a V6. Yeah, but only 4 of them work. Let's look at that. Well, I was kind of happy to see that under here, everything is in its place. Everything looks nice. It's really not missing anything major except for the fan shroud and that piece of fan there. So there's that. Plug wires look somewhat new. We already knew there was a distributor cap laying back there, so that's probably been replaced. Has just the right amount of acorns. That's good. Check out that belt. That's ready to let go at any second. Speaking of belts, I wonder what the timing belt's like on this thing, but it's never been replaced. Well, let's start it up. You're gonna be amazed. Now, I don't know a whole lot about mathematics and science and such, but it shouldn't sound like that. I'm thinking that's EGR and a dead miss. Yep. There's that dead miss I was talking about. I can't tell. What do you think? Is that 1 cylinder down or 2 cylinders down? Oh, how do I know it's a cylinder down? Let me show you. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the coil wire here so the truck can't start, right? Take my little wireless microphone and just clip it here so you can hear. Now listen to the cadence of the engine as I roll it over with the starter. Did you hear that? It wasn't rolling over smooth. It got noticeably faster. It got noticeably faster when that piston or pistons started coming up on compression stroke and there was no compression there to push back on it. So you hear that. I can't tell if that skip, that's called a skip, and I can't tell if that skip is 1 cylinder skipping or 2 cylinder skipping, but we're going to find out for sure. We're just going to stick our compression tester on here and just give it a good old-fashioned compression test. That'll tell us all we need to know. So let's do that. Let's hop in it. We'll drive it up to the shop and we'll do a quick compression test, and that should at least run us in the right direction for what's wrong. I think that it's top end, like probably valve train, most likely. And the reason I think that is because I don't have any smoke out the tailpipe. I just have condensation, and just a little bit of condensation. These things are famous for head gaskets letting go, particularly on the back there where that crossover tube comes in. And it may well have a blown head gasket, but I don't really see anything that indicates that I have that at this point. But no blue smoke out the tailpipe means that obviously the oil scraper ring's in good shape. And I don't have blow-by. In other words, when the truck is running and I pull this cap out, I don't have a bunch of crankcase pressure flying out of there. That would indicate ring problems. Also, looking at the underside of this cap, I don't have any of that white residue that's consistent with a blown head gasket. I have a lot of sludge and crud in there, so it's an old cap, not a new cap for sure, but there's nothing that indicates there's water in this crankcase. So those few things right there lead me to believe that we have a valve issue. Let me show you another thing, possibly. I'm wanting to get you guys kind of in this with me, because as of this point in the recording, I don't know what's wrong with it. By the time the video goes live, I will have found out what's wrong with it, but I don't know right this second. So here's another tidbit of information for you. When the vehicle's running and you pull the oil cap off of it, it almost dies. There's a lot of vacuum right here. I mean, a lot of vacuum in the crankcase. I don't think that's PCV valve. I don't think there's supposed to be that much vacuum through the PCV system. But what I do know is that the truck can be running, you pull this thing off and it almost dies, and you can put your hand over this and it literally sucks your hand to it. So I'm thinking we have an intake valve either bent or broken. I could be wrong. It could be an exhaust valve. I don't know. It's got kind of an interesting sound back there at the exhaust, kind of a sput, sput, sput sound. I don't know how to even make that noise, but anyway, it makes kind of a weird pat noise back there that sometimes is consistent with a burnt valve. Okay, let's get up to the shop, start a compression test on it, see what's going on there. Okay, here we are on the next cylinder back, which I believe is number 3. I didn't see any compression on that at all. None at all. Now for number 5, I believe it is. Zero. Well, that's 2 cylinders right in a row with no compression, right next to each other. What are we thinking? Cam problem? Maybe cam follower slid off? I don't know. Maybe some of the shim got wedged or I don't know. Who knows? Put it back together, we'll do the other side. I would imagine the other side will be just fine. All right, this will be number 2, which is I think front passenger side or front driver side. About 120. All right, cylinder number 4. Right at 120. All right, on to the next. Okay, cylinder 6. About 120, just about like the other 4. And that, my friends, is how projects are born. Cheap car, side of the road, really interesting price with just a little bit of a problem. Now on this one, as soon as we started to turn over the engine, I could hear the skip. So I knew before I ever went into this that we had a problem with compression on at least 1 cylinder, and I figured 2, and turns out I was right. Still don't believe it's bottom end. Could be wrong. I was wrong one other time, I think. But anyway, being that there's no smoke, you'd figure there'd be some smoke and a lot of blow-by, but we have 0 blow-by. We have 0 smoke. So I kind of don't think it's bottom end. I really do believe it's top end. Now, whether we got severely burned valves or whether we got something, been overhead cam engine, and maybe we got something jammed underneath one of those shim buckets, I don't know. But we're going to find out in the next episode, because the next episode we're going to pull the upper plenum off of this thing. We're going to pull that passenger side valve cover, and we're going to just feast our eyes on the carnage that's probably underneath there. My guess is we'll end up pulling the head off that side. My guess is we'll end up replacing the head that's on that side. If I have to do that, I'll probably just replace that head, because look at the thing. It's not worth putting, you know, a whole bunch of money into, but I wouldn't mind making it nice enough just to kind of putt around and drive around a little bit and just kind of see where we go with it. I think it deserves that much. Anyway, If you like the video, guys, please consider giving me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd appreciate you subscribing. It really helps my channel grow, helps the YouTube algorithm figure out that people like me and that I should be growing. So, appreciate you watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.